Alright, I had to readjust the camera a little bit because the tripod is old and doesn't necessarily want to stay at the same place. Yeah, that camera there is an old flip camera. And got the tripod about the same time anyway. They're getting pretty wore out. So we left off talking about a bunch of stuff. Bunch of stuff as usual. Anyway, so I wanted to talk about, I was talking about those wool sweaters, aka jumpers. You know, the thing is that in Ireland they call them sweaters, and in England they call them jumpers. You know, they're known as jumpers because of the parachute regiment over there, okay? So they're known for that. So automatically everybody calls them jumpers. And yeah, everybody else calls them sweaters. So anyway, just so I don't get, you know, a couple of emails, hey, those are jumpers. You know, I always throw a jumper in there. So here we go again. Wool anoraks, right? We're always talking about wool around Christmas time and winter time and whatnot here on this channel because wool is one of my favorite things. And my two favorite times of the year are autumn and winter. Those are my two favorite because we get a lot of ticks in New England. I mean, they're a real problem. And anyway, I hate ticks, and I'm at a point in my life where I just don't want to be bothered with such things anymore. You know, I mean, when I was younger, just take them off and keep on, right? But nowadays, I'd rather just not be bothered with the little pesky suckers. So, wool anoraks. I'm going to talk to you a little bit about wool anoraks. We've been talking about wool coats, you know, recently, and I've been very disgusted with wool coats on the market. And the thing is that you just cannot buy a wool coat like you could buy 60, 80 years ago. You just can't. You know, I mean, everything is so thin. And everything is cut like everybody is built like a twig, okay? Like Twiggy, okay? Look up Twiggy if you're not familiar with Twiggy, look it up, okay? Right? Twiggy, stick figure person. So everything seems to be built for that, like fashion and looking good and whatnot. I mean, it seems just like, you know, the utilitarian part of the garment has gone out the window, and all they care about is making the garment look good and making you look a certain way wearing it and whatnot. You know, that type of crap has got to go out the window itself, because you know what, I can't even walk in anywhere and buy. I cannot go in and walk in and buy a decent winter coat off of the rack. I can't. In this day and age, I cannot do that. You know, I'm at the point right now where I'm thinking that I should find something that's old and then find somewhere to buy some heavy Mackinaw wool by the yard and modify it to make it the way I want it, right? And I get tired of having to do that. Seems like I always have to improve upon something that I've gotten off the rack, and I shouldn't, right? I shouldn't have to do that. I should be able to walk in and buy something that's 40-ounce wool per square yard. I should be able to do that. Probably your jaw just hit the ground. What are you talking about, 40-ounce wool? They don't make 40-ounce wool. Well, they used to make 40-ounce wool. They may have even made heavier than 40-ounce wool. But, you know, and I can't find anything from the World War II era. I mean, they made things smaller then because, number one, people were smaller. Number two, guys didn't really eat great during World War II. They were all, you know, high speed, low drag, right? And so they were all fairly lanky guys. So sizes back then were smaller, you know. And when I look at a jacket now or a coat, I'm looking at 50 to 52. 52 preferably, okay, so that I could fit this underneath it, just as an extra bonus layer, right? My mid layer. I want my mid layer to be knits. But thing is, you know, it's hard to find anything. You know, but an anorak is different. So we started out talking about anoraks, and we are going to talk about anoraks because I have several anoraks, right? And they have deficiencies. But I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons of the anoraks that I have. What they should do to improve upon them. Okay. What anoraks do I have? Okay. My most expensive anorak is my Micklagaard Anorak. It's called the Hunting Anorak. Okay, that's the most expensive one. And I bought that one last year. I got that one for myself for a Christmas present to myself, and it was expensive, and I even got a discount on it because they were running a discounted price for Christmas, which was very nice of them. Micklagaard is a cottage industry company. They're not like Filson or Stormy Cromer. It's a cottage level industry. It's not mass produced stuff. You know, they've got probably a couple of seamstresses there. But anyway, I got that one last year. I took 4 months because it came. There was an issue, a tiny issue with it. Wasn't any big deal. They told me, okay, just send it back, and we'll just make a brand new one, which they did. They sent me another one right away. I didn't pay for shipping. They paid my shipping back, and then they sent it to me again. That's unheard of. But I mean, it is an expensive garment, over $400. Okay, and I like it, but it has some things that I didn't like. Okay, but we'll get to those when I get the garment out here in front of the camera. Okay. But right now we're just going to do kind of a little overview here. So I have 3 other anoraks, and those anoraks are all from Boreal Mountain Anoraks. Okay, 2 of them I like a good deal. 1 of them not so much. They have a few deficiencies also, right? And I have them in different sizes. I have them in different sizes on purpose because I want to layer them. So I want to be able to layer. I always want to be able to layer stuff. It is difficult to layer wool. So we'll get all into that in another video. But the ones that I like the best are the one that's called the Voyager, okay? And mine says it's 96% wool. Voyager, it's the one that looks like it's been made with the blanket, right? Okay, and then the second one that I like also is it's called the Rough. It's 95-96% wool, something like that. I don't remember what the tag says because I wanted to see what the tag said on the Voyager because, you know, I mean, they're different. So that one has some trim around the wrists and down around the bottom. And that's it. No other trim. It would have been nice if they would have done trim in other areas as well, but they didn't. And then I have the one that I don't like as much is the one that they call the Loden. Okay, the 100% wool. And that one I think is one that I would avoid. If I were in your place, I would not buy their 100% quote unquote Loden Anorak. That's just me. Okay, I'm going to tell you why. Because it pills like crazy. Now, pilling is, mine pilled like crazy. I'm not going to say everybody's does, but mine sure did. Mine pilled like crazy. It's where you get these little balls of wool. And what is pilling caused from? Pilling is caused from short fibered wool. Okay, so if the wool fibers are quite short, you're gonna get a lot more pilling than you would if you had a better quality wool fiber, like say Cheviot or Shetland. Okay, and you wove your garment with those wool fibers. This has obviously been done with a shorter, more inexpensive wool fiber because it had a lot of pilling. Okay. Is that Boreal Mountain's fault? Probably not. Probably because I believe that they had the material made for them by a woolen mill. And instead of getting mad about me talking about this, if they see this video, instead of getting mad, they should go back to the mill and say, hey, you know, let's talk about this wool fiber that you're using for our materials. That's what they should be saying, right? So the 100% is a 2XL. The Rough is a 3XL. And the Voyager is a 4XL. That Voyager 4XL is like a tent. Man, it's big. So one of the reasons why I wanted that one is so I could layer it over basically anything I wanted. Okay? Basically anything. And if I wanted to, I could use it as a sleeping shirt. Okay? So that's why I got that 4XL. It's really big, man. So anyway, the Rough and the Voyager I really liked. They have some negatives though, okay? And we'll go ahead and talk about those negatives in another video, because we never even got to the old Boy Scout books either. We'll continue on talking about the wool anoraks in the next video a little bit, and then we'll talk about the old Boy Scout books I got here. You know, they say coffee is bad for you, you know, blah, blah, blah. Not that I go to doctors, because I don't, but if I ever did and they said, you need to stop drinking coffee, I would say, bye, because I would never stop drinking coffee. Doctors are 99% wrong anyway. We'll see you later.